continue to get better. I think that's at the second half. I mean, even looking at the last AFC Championship game, we didn't execute at a high enough level in the second half. And so for us, first year to be able to manage that long halftime break that you have in the Super Bowl, doing that the right way, and I know the coaches had a great plan for that. And then when you come back out, it's all about execution and energy. And so you can have that execution and energy at the beginning of the game when everybody's intense and it's the adrenaline's pumping, but being able to bring that again in the second half will be super important, especially against a great defense. And so definitely something that we have to make sure that we're ready to do, and something that we have to execute at a high level. Thank you.
.143 passer rating and 11.5 yards per attempt. What am I supposed, like, all I need to see is, can you defend the MVP crown, right? Be in the mix, 2-3. He is the Mike Trout of football, a generationally, historically significant talent.
In the world of American football, few names resonate with as much power and promise as Patrick Mahomes. From his early days on the gridiron to his meteoric rise in the NFL,
7 yards is so comfortable. This team, they're explosive. Hey, going deep again. There's Hardman, and the rookie has his first NFL touchdown.
Mahomes has captivated audiences with his unparalleled talent, electrifying plays, and humble demeanor.
It's amazing. It honestly is to win this game, the Super Bowl, for not only me and my teammates, but for the coaches, for Kansas City, who's been with us through the ups and downs, and the passion that they show us every year is unmatched. And to get that Super Bowl trophy and be able to take it back to Kansas City, it's amazing.
Our story begins in Tyler, Texas, where Patrick LaVon Mahomes II was born on September 17, 1995. He was born to Randy Martin and Pat Mahomes, a former Major League Baseball pitcher. Young Patrick inherited his father's athletic ability and began honing his skills on the football and baseball fields from a young age. From the start, it was clear he was gifted. His talent was undeniable, evident even in his early years. Whether it was throwing the pigskin with pinpoint accuracy or evading defenders with finesse, Mahomes possessed a natural gift for both games. But it wasn't just his physical abilities that set him apart. It was his insatiable drive to succeed and his unwavering work ethic that would propel him to greatness. As he grew up, his stats across football and baseball showed real promise. He attended White House High School, where in football, he had 4,619 passing yards, 50 passing touchdowns, 948 rushing yards, and 15 rushing touchdowns. In baseball, he threw a no-hitter with 16 strikeouts in one game. At White House High, his star continued to rise. He dominated on the football field, showcasing his versatility as a quarterback and catching the eye of college scouts across the nation. But perhaps what stood out the most was his humility and leadership, qualities that would define him both on and off the field. Max Preps named him the Male Athlete of the Year for 2013-2014. Off the back of his promising high school career, he was rated as a 3-star recruit, notably being the 12th best dual-threat quarterback in his class. His efforts in baseball didn't go unnoticed either, with the Detroit Tigers selecting him in the 37th round of the 2014 Major League Baseball draft. But he ultimately decided against signing a contract. He received university offers from Texas Tech, Rice, and Houston. After an impressive high school career, Mahomes faced a pivotal decision: where to continue his football journey. Ultimately, he chose to attend Texas Tech University, where he would leave an indelible mark on the college football landscape. At Texas Tech, Mahomes dazzled fans and pundits alike with his jaw-dropping plays and record-breaking performances. He shattered school and conference records, showcasing his arm strength, agility, and football IQ. But perhaps what endeared him to so many was his infectious personality and unshakable resolve in the face of adversity. He began his time at Texas Tech as a backup for Davis Webb. And after an unfortunate injury took Webb out of a game against Oklahoma State, Mahomes was given his first taste of career action. He completed 13 of 21 passes for 20 yards for 1 touchdown and an interception. He had his first career start later that season against Texas, where he completed 13 of 21 passes for 109 yards. His ability earned him a permanent starting position for the final few games of the season, which was all he needed to break the Big 12 freshman record of 598 yards with 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Still somewhat committed to his baseball heritage, he split some of his time as a relief pitcher for the Texas Tech baseball team. He was the permanent starting quarterback in his sophomore year, leading the Red Raiders to a 7-6 season. For the 2015 season, he led the Big 12 Conference with 364 pass completions on 573 attempts for 4,653 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. Even recording a 5-touchdown performance against Iowa State. He appeared in only 3 games as a baseball pitcher, with no hits in 2 and 3 runs allowed as a pitcher. His ties to baseball had kept him in the game this long, but he realized in order to fulfill his potential, he had to choose a sport to fully commit to. And in the lead up to the 2016 season, he announced that he was leaving baseball to concentrate all of his efforts on football. Despite facing his fair share of challenges, Mahomes never wavered in his commitment to excellence. He approached every game with the same intensity and determination, earning the respect and admiration of his teammates, coaches, and opponents alike. And with that, his junior season was underway. During his junior season, Mahomes displayed remarkable productivity. In September alone, he showcased his prowess with 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, while also scoring 4 touchdowns through rushing. Averaging an impressive 442.5 passing yards per game that month, he notably delivered a stellar 540-yard performance against Arizona State in the Red Raiders' second game. In October, Mahomes kicked off with a formidable display, amassing 504 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 3 rushing touchdowns in a close defeat against Kansas State. On October 22nd, in a heartbreaking 66-59 loss to Oklahoma at home, Mahomes etched his name in the record books, setting numerous NCAA, Big 12, and school records. Among these, he broke the NCAA FBS record for single-game total offense with a staggering 819 yards. He equaled the NCAA record for single-game passing yards with 734 and nearly claimed the record for most attempts with 88. The game itself set records for the most combined yards of total offense, totaling 1,708 passing yards and total offense by 2 players, including Oklahoma quarterback Baker Mayfield. Despite a valiant effort against TCU following the Oklahoma game, the Red Raiders faltered, losing 3 consecutive games to conclude the season with a 5-7 record, falling short of bowl eligibility. However, in his final appearance for Texas Tech against Baylor, Mahomes left an indelible mark, orchestrating a commanding 54-35 victory with 586 passing yards and 6 touchdowns. Wrapping up the season, Mahomes led the nation in multiple statistical categories, including yards per game, 421, passing yards, 5,052, total offense, 5,312, points responsible for, 318, and total touchdowns, 53. His outstanding performance earned him the prestigious Sammy Baugh Trophy, awarded annually to the nation's top college passer. Additionally, he was recognized for his academic achievements, securing a spot on the Academic All-America Second Team by the College Sports Information Directors of America. On January 3, 2017, Mahomes made the decision to forego his remaining college eligibility and declare for the NFL Draft. At the genesis of his pro career, Mahomes was one of the leading prospects for the NFL Draft. Representatives from 28 NFL teams attended his pro day at Texas Tech and had private workouts and visits from teams such as the Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Los Angeles Chargers. But it was the Kansas City Chiefs who fulfilled Patrick Mahomes' lifelong dream when he was selected in the first round of the NFL Draft. It was a moment of triumph and validation for the young quarterback, but not everyone was convinced. The Chiefs traded up to a higher pick to select Mahomes as a backup to Alex Smith, which to most seemed like a strange decision. But the Chiefs saw something in Mahomes that no one else did. In Week 17, with the playoff spot secured, the Chiefs announced they would rest the starter and give Mahomes his first career start against the Broncos. Mahomes helped lead the Chiefs to a 27-24 win, silencing his doubters. That's all it would take for the Chiefs to double down on their sentiment. On January 30th, 2018, in a controversial move, the Chiefs announced they were trading Alex Smith to the Redskins, crowning Mahomes as the starting quarterback. Mahomes was here, and he was here to stay. As the 2018 NFL season began, The pressure was on Mahomes to prove himself once and for all. Did he really have what it took to lead a team to Super Bowl glory? From the outset of the 2018 season, Mahomes showcased his otherworldly talent, setting records and redefining the quarterback position in the process. His cannon arm, uncanny accuracy, and ability to improvise under pressure left fans and analysts in awe, earning him the nickname Showtime. He broke the NFL record for touchdown passes in a quarterback's first 3 career games, as well as most touchdown passes in a season's first 2 weeks. He was the first player since Tom Brady in 2011 to win back-to-back AFC Offensive Player of the Week awards. In his first full year as a starter, he completed the season as MVP with 5,097 passing yards and 50 touchdowns. He made the Pro Bowl and was named first-team All-Pro. He led the Chiefs to their first AFC title game since 1993, losing marginally to the soon-to-be champions, the Patriots. The following season, Mahomes was out for blood. He had proved himself as one of the most exciting new players for the NFL, but now it was time to take his team to a place they hadn't been for over 50 years. An injury meant Mahomes' numbers were down from the previous season, but he still managed to bag over 4,000 yards with 26 touchdowns. The Chiefs finished first in the AFC, and with the playoffs on the horizon, Mahomes' times had arrived to show the world what he was capable of. With their first game against the Texans, they fell behind 24-0. Before pulling off one of their greatest comebacks with 41 unanswered points, Mahomes' effort pushed the Chiefs to a 51-31 win. In the AFC title game, the Titans kept Kansas City trailing once again, but it was Mahomes leading the comeback to a 35-24 win. The 49ers would prove to be the greatest task of all, however. With under 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs were down 20-10. But when all hope seemed lost, Mahomes turned the tide. In the biggest feat of his career so far, he led Kansas City to a 31-20 win, crowning them Super Bowl champions and himself Super Bowl MVP. The third youngest player in history to win the award. It was a moment of triumph, not just for Mahomes, but for all those who had believed in him since his humble beginnings in Tyler, Texas. His parents, coaches, and of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, who would go on to offer him one of the most expensive contracts in sports history, worth over $500 million. He had achieved the height of NFL glory early into his career, but the story was far from over. Chiefs came thundering into the 2020 season with a 14-1 start. Led by Mahomes with over 4,700 yards and 37 touchdowns, the Chiefs prepared for their third straight AFC title game against the Bills. The Bills did not have what it took to stop the Chiefs, however. And with Mahomes personally throwing for 325 yards and 3 touchdowns, the game finished 38-24 in their favor. With another Super Bowl on the line, Mahomes faced his greatest challenge yet: Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. The GOAT versus the prodigy. Did he have what it took to be crowned the next face of the NFL? The notable play style Mahomes had developed made him the prime target on the field. The Buccaneers used 2 deep safeties to prevent Mahomes finding his wide receivers. Their injury-ridden offense was no match for the Buccaneers' concrete defense. And a personal manhunt meant he was under record-breaking pressure physically as well as mentally for 29 of 56 dropbacks while also being sacked 3 times and hit twice. The Buccaneers crushed the Chiefs 31-9. Tom Brady proved why he is the greatest of all time. And proved that if Mahomes wanted to dethrone him, he was going to have to come back twice as strong. Which is exactly what he did. Another high-scoring season set Mahomes on his path for a second ring. The adversity he'd faced would have discouraged most, but he could not be deterred. The Chiefs obliterated the Steelers in the wild-card round 42-21 with Mahomes throwing over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Their AFC rivals, the Bills, were next up to the plate, and with a game for the ages, Mahomes found Travis Kelce for the game-winning touchdown in overtime. He was breaking records everywhere he went. And going into the conference championship, Mahomes looked unstoppable. It was the Cincinnati Bengals that would apply the brakes to the Chiefs' hopes and dreams, however. Kansas City were leading 18 points at halftime. Victory seemed all but assured. Newfound hope for Cincinnati came, however, from Joe Burrow. Accompanied with the Bengals' solid defense, they would end up holding the Chiefs' offense down and force an overtime, where the Bengals buried the game and stopped Mahomes dead in his tracks. Doubts began to brew in the NFL community. Had things become too much for Mahomes? More and more questions were asked when receiver Tyreek Hill was traded to the Miami Dolphins. What would become of the Super Bowl winning Chiefs team? Was Mahomes prepared to prove once more he is the leader that people thought he was? Only time would tell. In one of their strongest campaigns yet, Mahomes finished the regular season with 5,250 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, and found himself well on the way to his second career MVP title. However, in a divisional round matchup against the Jaguars, the worst happened. During the first half, Mahomes was caught between 2 Jacksonville defenders and suffered a high ankle sprain. He was visibly injured and looked to be completely out of action. But somehow, he managed to overcome the excruciating pain and push through for his team, returning to the field and eventually securing the 27-20 playoff win, quickly picking up speed. But celebrations were short-lived, as it was the Chiefs and Mahomes' personal biggest rival who were waiting in the wings. the Cincinnati Bengals. As well as stopping their Super Bowl dreams in the previous season, the Bengals had beaten the Chiefs in their last 3 meetings. NFL media stirred the pot, creating a rivalry between Mahomes and the Bengals' Joe Burrow. With questions about his ankle injury on top of all of this, it was even sweeter when the Chiefs blitzed the Bengals in another classic, resulting in Kansas City once again becoming conference champions. The Eagles were the final stop for the Chiefs in Super Bowl stardom. And despite trading leads with Philadelphia all game up until a tie in the last 5 minutes, Mahomes personally commanded a second ring for his team with a 66-yard drive setting up a field goal. In spite of all his doubters and a crushing injury, Mahomes became the first player ever to win Super Bowl MVP, League MVP, all whilst leading in passing yards and touchdowns. He had proved everyone wrong in one of the greatest NFL revenge tours of all time. Having already achieved so much at such an early stage in his career, it seemed as though the sky was the limit for this quarterback. In the 2023 season, he became the fastest player to reach 200 touchdowns. He broke his former teammate Alex Smith's franchise record of touchdowns as a quarterback. And in Week 5, he became the youngest quarterback in NFL history to defeat all other 31 teams. A historic win over the Bills earned them a 6th consecutive AFC Championship game.
I think that, looking back on everything in previous years, I kind of just was talking for the most part on how I felt at the moment and letting things run. And, I stand by that this team has every piece that it needs to be great. Everybody can talk about whatever they want to talk about. That's our weakness. I know that we got a team that can put points up. And I know we got the coaches to be able to put us in the great position to succeed. And that's where we're moving going forward. It just takes guys to lock in and just be ready for those big-time moments when we need them most.
With Mahomes and Kelsey simultaneously smashing records as a quarterback-receiver duo.
Yeah, two great corners. I've played against both a couple of times. Both of them are great players. They're physical, they're smart, they're fast. And it'll be a great challenge for our receivers and tight ends. And I'm sure they'll do a good job of mismatching and changing it up. And Vic Fangio has a great defensive scheme, Coach Fangio, and so I have a lot of respect for him. And so there'll be a game plan that he comes in with, and we'll have to adjust to it and continue to make plays. Right here.
He led the Chiefs to a win on the road against favorites Baltimore, blazing a trail towards a 3rd ring at Super Bowl 58, his 4th appearance in 5 seasons.
Travis, not too far, Travis. Travis, right in front of you, sir. Travis, can we start over here, please? Travis, to your left.
Travis, to your left.
Into the 3rd quarter. How do you plan to keep the energy throughout the game after halftime and to get around defense?
Yeah, no, we have to continue to get better. I think that's at the second half. Even looking at the last AFC Championship game, we didn't execute at a high enough level in the second half. And so for us, first you have to be able to manage that long halftime break that you have in the Super Bowl, doing that the right way. And I know the coaches had a great plan for that. And then when you come back out, it's all about execution and energy. And so you can have that execution and energy at the beginning of the game when everybody's intense and it's the adrenaline's pumping, but being able to bring that again in the second half will be super important, especially against a great defense. And so definitely something that we have to make sure that we're ready to do, and something that we have to execute at a high level. Thank you.
Chiefs won the coin toss and deferred possession to the second half. Led by Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco pushed 49 yards and 5 for their initial drive, but McCaffrey lost possession at the Chiefs' 27-yard line. The game was on. Back and forth punts meant the game was scoreless at the first break, but San Francisco moved quickly into the second quarter with a 55-yard field goal from Jake Moody, the longest field goal ever completed in a Super Bowl. As the clock ticked down on the second half, the Chiefs were trailing 10-0, and people began to wonder, had the pressure all become too much for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City?
For Butker. Butker's kick is up.
The answer?
And it's good, and the Chiefs are on the board.
Was no.
Great job, great job, great job, great job.
The Chiefs remained calm and collected and set out a 13-play, 65-yard drive, concluding with a 28-yard field goal by Harrison Butker. Now, only 7 points behind, the Chiefs entered the second half out for blood. These two behemoth teams went back and forth, trading possessions with no one able to score. It was time for Patrick Mahomes to show the world why he was the two-time Super Bowl MVP. With 9 minutes, 2 seconds left in the quarter, the Chiefs had the ball at their own 14-yard line. Mahomes struck an 11-yard pass to Travis Kelce, with Kansas City then rolling a 9-play, 47-yard drive, resulting in a 57-yard field goal by Butker, breaking the record that Jake Moody had set early in the game. With the deficit now at 4 points, the tide was quickly turning for Kansas City. San Francisco went 3 and out of the following drive, and the teams continued to clash for the lead. A misplaced punt from San Francisco landed the Chiefs' possession in the 49ers' red zone, where Mahomes lined up a killer 16-yard touchdown pass to Valdez-Scantling. After Butler converted the extra point, the Chiefs now had their first lead in the game and were one step closer to their coveted second ring. However, the 49ers were not going to give up that easily. They reclaimed the lead, and with 9 minutes, 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs began their next drive down 3 points. The Chiefs stormed the San Francisco's 3-yard line, where Mahomes was sacked on 3rd and goal. Butker kicked a 24-yard field goal, tying the game at 16 apiece. The ensuing brawl was fierce, both teams leaving it all on the field. But once again, it was Jake Moody to bring the 49ers to the lead. With less than 2 minutes on the clock, Mahomes had to find the strength to fight for the win. And that's exactly what they did. A lightning pass to Kelce meant the Chiefs had a first down from the 49ers' 11-yard line with 10 seconds to go. Mahomes tried to once again seek out Kelce, but it only resulted in an incomplete pass. With 6 seconds on the clock, it was once again left up to Butker to tie the game and keep the Chiefs in the game. A 29-yard field goal attempt, and it was good, meaning this Super Bowl would go the distance. In overtime, the 49ers possessed the ball first, driving down the field before stalling at the Chiefs' 9-yard line and kicking a field goal. Mahomes and the Chiefs responded by driving 75 yards in 13 plays, converting 2 third downs and a 4th down to set up 1st and goal on the San Francisco's 3-yard line. And then, in perhaps the greatest Super Bowl comeback of all time, with the weight of Kansas City on his back, he showed the world why he is the one and only Patrick Mahomes. On the San Francisco 3-yard line, Patrick Mahomes threw potentially the most important pass of his career, finding Mecole Hardman and scoring the game-winning touchdown pass. Throwing 333 yards with 2 touchdowns, Mahomes and the Chiefs overcame unbeatable odds to win back-to-back Super Bowls, and Mahomes his 3rd MVP.
I love you, boy. What I want to do, they on me, brother. You know it, lead us, boy. Yeah, man, we came in with the mindset of we needed everybody to come through. You know, whether it was on the sideline, making sure the energy's up, or just doing your 111th on the field. And I feel like we came through and had a good team win right there.
It's so excitement, man. I'm so proud of the team, so proud of the guys, and to battle to the very end. I mean, that was a microcosm of our season. I said it, and everybody came together, and we were able to get the win. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to celebrate tonight. I'm going to celebrate at the parade, and then I'm going to do whatever I can to be back in this game next year and trying to go for that three-peat. So it's an ongoing thing in the NFL. I think Tom said it best, is once you win that championship and you have those parades and you get those rings, you're not the champ anymore. You have to come back with that same mentality. And
yeah, it's a little bit surreal. I'm back-to-back is rare air for this football team and this organization. So it's I got to ask so many times, is it a dynasty? I don't know what a dynasty. I mean, you guys, you have the thesaurus. So, I mean, you figure it out. But it's a great win. It's because I know how hard it is to do, and then how hard the season was, the ups and downs of the season, and how proud I am of the guys for just hanging with each other, staying positive with each other.
I get a shout out for Harrison Butker. And I get a shout out for Tommy Townsend. And I get a shout out for James Winchester. No, for real though, we appreciate everything.
Beyond the touchdowns and accolades, Patrick Mahomes' true legacy lies in the lives he's touched and the impact he's had on and off the field. Whether it's through his charitable endeavors, his dedication to his community, or his role as a role model for aspiring athletes everywhere, Mahomes continues to inspire and uplift others with his actions and words. As we reflect on the remarkable journey of Patrick Mahomes, one thing becomes abundantly clear: his legacy is still in motion. With each pass, each victory, and each act of kindness, Mahomes continues to write the next chapter in his storied career, leaving an indelible mark on the sport of football and the hearts of fans around the world.